Hello YouTube, and welcome back to my Let's Play developer commentary on Philly Fantasy VI. So this time we're gonna head down the river and probably do Flash Sentry scenario since it's the shortest one, easiest to condense into one part with this. Well, we'll probably do that in Nation and save Applejack for last. For this part, I was really had to consider like removing this Protect Socorro thing. Thinking maybe change it to Celestia or change it to Twilight or just remove it entirely. Cause like I don't know off the top of my head how to remove it, but it's something I could figure out how to do. I'm sure that other hacks have done it that didn't want it. But leaving it in it just makes the level a bit more unique and challenging. And those guys didn't take much damage at all. So, why did I cure? I have Socorro now. Cure is for the weak! And the stupid. I do have a thing I could talk about though while I mentioned, the vastly different lengths of the three scenarios coming up. There's a hack in development on ff6hacking.com. It actually sounds very interesting, and it's more of an overhaul of the whole game. It adds General Leo as a playable guest character. It adds General Leo as a playable guest character. It adds a lot of gameplay balances. It adds a Leviathan as another Magicite piece. But the one thing that it started at, as I believe at least it's... and I'm kicking myself now because GW Softcore Brony warned me about that. The Reverends, or Pterodons rather, absorb wind, so the Cloud Dagger is going to heal them. Whoops. Anyway, so the FF6 hacking project, it started off, the guy wanted to make the three scenarios a bit more even in focus. So what he did is he added a scenario with Shadow to South Figaro, where Locke meets up with Shadow and Shadow joins for a bit. And now when Sabin is taken into the river by Ultros, Edgar goes in with him, and the two brothers wash up together and has their adventures together, while the raft is thrown off course by Ultros, and Bannon and Terra end up on the Veld. So then Edgar and Sabin do the Cyan stuff, but the Veld stuff is taken by Terra and Bannon, including meeting and recruiting Gao. And accordingly, Gao and Terra get like some new chemistry between them for the whole children orphan stuff that ties into her character card quest. And overall, it just sounds very cool, A bit of an AU fanfiction, some more even gameplay balance on things. And it also, the one story thing I mentioned is it makes General Leo a permanently playable guest. And the story premise is that Bannon accompanies the party to the expedition to the Masa. And when Kefka attacks the town, and we have the whole thing with General Leo's last stand, now it's played out with Bannon instead. And that's a really cool idea, I think. So there's cool stuff in this hack. I might play it when it's done. Sounds like it could be neat. I'm not fighting very efficiently, but, this isn't... I've got Socorro, what do I need? Again! Spoiler alert, Apple Bloom is playable in this 2.0 hack. For something different, let's go Moonbolt. So Apple was playable, and the one thing I considered is some sort of relic to change her, or if not giving her the alchemy ability innately, giving her a relic to change one of her abilities to alchemy, in reference to her friendship with Socorro. we're fine. Hello. Maybe I should have bought more eye drops in preparation. Or face masks, even. I have met a lot of enemies that poison and blind, so actually face masks would have been a good plan. So this is one of the parts of the hack that I really hated. I didn't even... It could occur to me that this is a thing until I read about it at length, is the infinite level up trick where you just circle around this path fighting enemies over and over, and with the controller set to memory and a Turbo Fire controller, you just have Bannon heal the party all the time, and you can just level grind forever here. I got rid of it, as you can see. There are no enemy encounters on the upper path at all. No cheap exploits. You want to level grind, you're going to do it the old-fashioned way. And for this hack, especially for 2.0, that's a big thing because, you know, min-maxers know that this is a terrible thing to do. And because at this early point in the game, you level up so many times, that's fewer levels that you can get later in the game with Esper level bonuses. But for 2.0, those Esper level bonuses are gone. So there's really no downside to just grinding the party up to 99 there. So none of that. No. Why does my nose always stop running when I do these recordings? Hadouken! Oh, Luna, why would you use that attack? You know you have to sacrifice an orphan every time. And here we go! The Maniac. And as the characters end up joking, she really has, like, why is she even here? She's a comic book character. You know, she's not real. Why is she here? Why? Because she's a good fit for Ultros with hair snap instead of tentacle recolored green, and the tentacles and the bad jokes and puns. You know, like, someone has to be Ultros, the recurring villain, that current comic relief villain. Why not the Maniac? Ooh, that hurt. I should have moved the whole party to the back row. Why did I not? Slow buying me time to take care of Luna's defenses. I guess the thing I tried to do is make status magic more useful and give it to you earlier on where you can make use of it. Like Cadence picks up Protect at an early level, and you can have a use for Protect at this early level, you know? I do remember actually having to do a fair bit of rebalancing on all the enemies on the river, because when I had initially designed them, I forgot, oh yes, you have Celestia with fire magic instead of Edgar with his tools. So that necessitated, the party lineup is different. Oh, Twilight, stop dying. Okay, I'm just gonna keep fighting. You know? There we go. I'm out of here. And Twilight suddenly woke up. trickery. Really dumb thing, I tried the lines, of course, 2 lines there, trickery and enemy, but it doesn't really work. And once again, Luna's, when sprites go off screen, they tend to appear down there. And that's another thing with the emulator. Ugh. Bye, Luna! Bye-bye! And this is, once again, this was a Pinkie Pie clone or Mog in the original game for some reason. In this hack, that Mog is a separate playable character in terms of data. So for this hack, I made it Spike. Just for funsies. Spike is here. You know, and for a brief moment in time, you can play as Spike. Okay. Flash of them, flash of them. Let's go with you guys. We will save Luna for last, of course. And despite only happening like 60 seconds in real time even, Twilight is awake again! Yay! And down they go. Those guys, others have mentioned, it's actually a very useful rage for, or emulate, rather, for Scootaloo in this hack, because they have Fireball, which is pretty good. Well, we'll get to that when we get to Scootaloo's part of the story. Once again, wishing I had more to say. If I didn't change up the part of the game, well, then I don't have much to say here. I will say that as a kid, the Ultros fight always stymied me, because, you know, it never really occurred to me, hey, put them in the back row! So I always treated it like I'm on a time limit to kill Ultros before he hits Banon with the tentacle, because that will always kill Banon. And I remember that's, like, pointedly double grinding outside the Returner hideout, so that Banon won't die. I'm a little kid, I don't know what I'm doing. Celestial learns slow too, well that's redundant. Would change that if it wasn't so damn hard. The other two, their spell list is located in the editor. Celestia's spell list, I have to go into the hex and like manually change, you know, byte, I don't know, 12 is arrow or something, I have to change that to byte 14 or something. That reminds me of one interesting thing. One of the new spells in this hack is Arrow to go with Wave and Tremor, to give the player access to wind, water, and earth spells. Initially, because I wanted them grouped together, I switched Arrow and Death in the spell list. And that actually created a problem because, well, first off, obviously every enemy that uses Death, I had to change to the new spell since I just switched the spells in the spell slot. But also it turns out that the Condemned or Doom status that counts down to death, it turns out that when it runs out, it doesn't directly kill the enemy, it casts death on them. So when I switched the spell slots like that, when the countdown reached 0, it was casting Arrow on party members. And obviously I had to change that, I had to go into the hex, you know, redirect that, you know, no, don't load this spell, load this spell. But it does make me like, there's an interesting game mechanic, you know, like counting down to casting a spell on someone. And it doesn't necessarily have to be death, it could be anything, it could be flare, it could hypothetically, I guess, be any ability you want. You know, you can make someone count down to being hit with Ultima or something. And now let's try to get in. But the princess's wings are so pretty! Send it to the moon! Send it to the moon! I almost try to make that a running gag, like characters not believing that Celestia's a real alicorn. Like, the Diamond Dogs also like Celestia convinces them the horn is cardboard to disguise herself. Or, you know, lying that, I don't have a horn! Don't be silly! I should start using multiple save slots, just in case. Anyway, let's go and get in here. Imagine if the Empire knew about the secret passage and could have invaded the town from here. Thank goodness for the dash button. This is one part of the game that bugged me for enemy balancing, because, like, keeping in mind where all the different variants of the enemies appear, because some of them look so similar and the names are so similar it can be hard to tell them apart. Like Wild Rat and Hatchling versus the Rare Rat and the Rogue. Whatever. Electrocute them and then set them on fire. How about that? And coming up is one of the parts of the game that, like, even as a kid I remember, this is kind of dumb and weird and confusing. We'll get to that once these guys die. Wow, they tanked its bolt from Twilight. Nice. How about a fire from Celestia? Nope, not so much. Okay, we're dead. Well, they're dead, rather. And Zecora gained a level, who cares? This room. So this is a maze where you have to memorize the pattern the star took through the room and follow it exactly. So, if we go off the path, the light surrounds us and we have to tag that brown light. If we don't, we get into a fight with enemies, and good, I get all three at once. We want to get into a fight with these enemies because these are the only times they appear. So you want to encounter them so you can find them on the veldt as emulates for Scootaloo. If you want. I don't remember what their emulates are off the top of my head, if they're any good or not. But, you know, meet them just so I have the option of getting them. If you're a completionist. But yeah, so the reason well, first off, even in the original game, how does Edgar know this? And how this works? Like, I think they mentioned, like, it's a test for the city guard, which implies it's something that the citizens of Nash set up on purpose. But here's the obvious plot hole with that. Magic isn't supposed to exist! It doesn't! I thought the citizens could believe magic is, you know, a fantasy, or a fairy tale, or a rumor. So if magic doesn't exist, how do they set up this room with the moving light, and if you don't follow the light through the room, you get attacked by undead enemies? How did they set that up? And then you're teleported back to the front of the room. There is obviously magic at work here. Speed this up. There's obviously magic at work here. So how did they set this up? And why is this room even here? From a gameplay perspective, like, it's just nothing. You know, what is the challenge here? It's just a basic memory game. Now, I could see it if there were a couple chambers of successful chambers where they switch up the puzzle, like make it bigger, or there's multiple lights that try to trick you into following the wrong one. And you see there, I tagged the right one. So you don't even have to do it, you know, if your timing is good, you can just ignore it. And now we're back in the normal case, which also means that the wild rats and hatchling enemies that we fought earlier, they only appear one place. Yeah. You know, I do wonder, like, if the 3 scenarios hack that guy's working, I do wonder how he adapts this portion, like, who does this part of it. I think it's Logganat, but I don't remember. And here's this. Fun, 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 fun. Are we having fun yet? Are there too many Pinkie Pies? No, that's a lie. And people have had problems with them able to walk onto the pit here. Obviously, that's... At least in this version, it's gone. And this is the real Pinkie here. So, doing 2.0, when I did this terrain edit, I did want it to just be the pond, with the obvious implication that this is the mirror pool. Couldn't do that. And the reason is that the Nosh cave systems use a slightly different palette for its insides than other caves. Like, particularly I was looking at the South Figaro cave, because I know that has the lake there. But the Nosh system uses a different palette from them that doesn't have water effects on it. So, in order to add water to that, I'd basically have to remake the entire map from scratch, using the new palettes. And I ain't gonna do that. So I add the empty pit there, and I think an NPC in town mentions, you know, the pony cloned herself too much and now it's dried up. Wing Pike. That'll come in handy for Flash Sentry and his scenario. Actually made a good choice doing this first, I forgot that was there. And yeah, that is Pinkie and the Pinkie Pie clones. Again, I think, like, perfect casting. The one thing that there's a joke Pinkie makes much later in the game, where she jokes that all the items hidden and pots and crates and clocks around the world are hers. She put them there in case of emergency. I wanted to fit that joke in, but I didn't know where, because, you know, like, Mog virtually never talks. Whenever he talks, it's usually when you talk to him aboard the airship, in which case you don't want to put the joke on there, so you get it every time you talk to him. Or else it happens in a cutscene, and you know, not the kind of thing that you can work organically into a cutscene. But there is one spot in the game where you can find Mog in the field and talk to him like an NPC, and I was able to get the joke in there. And it, you know, it's a bit random and out of place and not at odds with what's happening around you, but that's Pinkie Pie for you. Notice the complete lack of fancy pants in the house. But when we go down here, maybe he was just chilling outside and heard us come in. Excuse me. Really don't like Bannon in this scene. Like, in this scene, like, it's hard to tell there's a core, but Bannon just comes down and starts glaring at Terra. Like, that is something that is pointed out, others have pointed out, and I added it to the TV Tropes page. When you get right down to it, the Returners aren't much better than the Empire in terms of how they use Terra, you know? They're just nicer about it, but they still use her the way the Empire did. And yeah, like, I know there's just like a fanfic out there where it turns out that Bannon was evil all along, or secretly evil, and it was using Terra to, like, usurp the Empire. Okay. So, yeah, we'll give him the Wing Pike, adds evade. He doesn't have MP, but I think he can still get the MP critical hit, because technically he does have MP, it's just not viewable, because he can't use magic. I think. We'll find out. Burn! Let's see. Nope. So, these guys, you're supposed to steal from them to get their clothing for disguise. First, I'm gonna kill them, because when you kill them, you get 200 bits, and they're pretty easy to kill. So the reason for that is, someone brought up that they didn't have a thief's shoe for Flash. They had accidentally sold it. And they couldn't get to the relic shop to buy more, so they were stuck at this point in the scenario. So that's why the thief's shoe was sold there. So that if you don't have it, you can buy one here. And it's the same reason I made those guys drop a bit more money. So if you don't have the money for it, you can farm it from them. Now if you come in here with no equipment for Flash whatsoever, well at that point, you know, what can I do for you? There's only so much I can do. Again, there's only so much hand-holding I can accommodate. And once again, in the original hack, they were based on like Rarity when she gets the dress sucked off her from Discord in Smooth's episode, and I think Rydell like retained that pose in general. If we equip the light shoe. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, and do you have anything else I might need? I'll buy an extra 10, just in case. So, I'm gonna make a save state just in case. I'm not trying not to do that too much for this LP, you know, I want to be legit. But I just want to show these guys. You can talk to them and fight them. I don't know if you can kill them, but let's find out. I'm gonna try and do this. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Ouch, yeah. Are they susceptible to confuse? I don't remember. Let's find out. Oh, they are! I'm confused! Keep him confused! He's his own worst enemy! There we go! Free turn! And that'll... Oh, it actually didn't hurt that much. Heal up Flash, just in case. I'm actually gonna be able to beat this guy. That's cool. But it's kind of pointless for reasons that will be obvious once I win and we get back to the field. But you can do it if you want. There actually is a reason to fight them. I don't know if I kept it for this one, but in the original game you could get your hands on the Iron Helm, which you could also buy later in the 7th scenario. But you know, if you want it for lock now, you can get one here by getting into battle and trying to steal from them. I just got an apple though, so not happening for me. And I beat him! And that... Oh! I thought like they vanished and the armor was still out in play. Huh. Well, that's cool. I'm learning things about the game I didn't know I didn't know. I did not buy a jeweled veil for them. Why did I not do that? And that's a little hint here that this Cadence is in the town. And that's again your hint that, you know, you can steal the disguise from the soldiers. I think I didn't... Oh, that's why they respawn. Right. Oh, cider. I think Zakor's friend is the one. I'm pretty sure, like, I had an NPC mention that, you know... If I did it, I'm gonna add in an update, because I want to, you know, nudge the players, you know, how do you get around town? Maybe Zakor's friend. Like, what happens if I talk to this guy as not this guy's? No, I'm gonna... Like, I thought I had a bit of dialogue, I'll double check, but if not, I'll add it, like, to nudge the player. You know, try stealing from them and you'll get a disguise. So, I did not know this until, I'm mangling his name, I can't remember though. I think it's Enderblade Minecraft, one of the guys who helped lead this. I didn't know this. But there's a path here that you can use to get here and bypass the soldiers here. I did not know about that. What you're also able to do, and what I always did when I played, and I'll do it now, just because I like playing how I play. You go up here and you can find this recruit and get in a fight with him and get his uniform off him. Come on. And he's dead. Speed up! Speed up! We went to the building and respawn him. Let's try this again. There we go. Flash! Flash Sentry OP, please nerf. That's a good idea. Sneak ring. Another good reason to include it. You know, increase success rate of stealing. Let's try this again. Yeah, this is like I said, the color of these sprites had to match the field sprite. And there we go. Oh, you have no idea how much headaches this cost me. Because Locke would never use the right sprite for the Imperial soldiers. Or he would use the one sprite in battle and then another in the field. Or the sprite would be miscolored. Just chaos, chaos, chaos. Such headache. Now, I'm not sure why that guy says it because, you know, the town is blocked off here. And something else, I moved this guy, he was always here, but he was like standing a little further up, I think here. But you could walk around him anyway. I moved him down a little bit to block the player, because apparently when you go to the ship, I've mentioned before that Palette 6, which the recruit sprites use, are slightly miscolored in various circumstances. The ship is one of them, because it uses a thing where you disguise yourself as a treasure chest to get smuggled through the town, if you take the ferry later in the game. And still can't talk to that guy. And now if you come down here... Like, granted, he says that even if you're disguised as an Imperial, so yeah. And oh no, Sweet Apple Acre's finest. Now that's something I'll just comment on quickly. In the original game, that key item Murin was a pendant, and it was implied to be worn by Terra. And the implication is that, at least I think this is what is implied, is that the pendant is a keepsake from her mother, who got it from her father. Pardon me. I didn't want to do that, but anyway, yeah. So in the original game, like Terra's father, Anespa, gives her mother a pendant in a flashback, and I think it's supposed to, the implication was supposed to infer is that it got passed on from her mother, which actually doesn't make sense when you think about it, because like Gestahl kills her mother, and like why would he like take the pendant from her corpse? Well, I guess like if you know your mother already gave it to Terra. I think I have to go get back my disguise again. At least I think I do. Let's go check. But yeah, so for this hack, Terra's mother is the Esper and her father is the normal pony. And if you know who Terra's mother is in terms of the Espers, you know a blue ribbon is a symbol for her. At least from around town. At least as far as I know, that's a symbol for her. And I can't get through. Good thing that they include this. I appreciate that the developers, you know, they include that other soldier outside and include an extra soldier here. So if you do need a disguise, you know, you have options to go find these guys, get your new disguise. I will never not get funny birthday suit. Okay, and now we can give this guy the cider. And the password I changed a bit. It's I think it's like courage. I think it's courage, cowardice, or sled, or rosebud, or something. Here it's muffins, cupcakes, or pancakes. Because memes. You know, I had to make a couple meme references here and there. So the password is cupcakes. Not a reference to the fic. Just cupcakes because, you know, Pinkie Pie and cupcakes are big. And now, we teleport here onto Filthy Rich's house. We're into here, the music cancels, because we're supposed to listen. I do like this little bit here. There's a soldier trying to watch these two. Yep, silver. There we go. So yeah, so the hidden passage we've already covered, but most of you that when you go in here, you can hear the wind whistling. Where's Spoiled Rich? Isn't she in this room? Or isn't it like she's supposed to be? I'm just curious. Where is she? But anyway, so you go back here, you find the hidden staircase, and down to the secret passage. change. Yeah, you have the option here to move your disguise. It doesn't matter, because even if you don't, you know, Flash changes back once you view the next scene. But this is also the reason I had to do another little level edit. Originally there were 3 doors in this passage, and one of them was a save point. And again, since you can technically access that save point when Locke is in the Palette 6 Soldier Sprite, I had to get rid of that. And here we have Cadance as Celes. Along with Flash, I think probably the most controversial casting choice. You know, and because, you know, maybe it should have been Trixie or Sunset Shimmer. And during 2.0, once again, I did seriously consider changing Cadance for Sunset Shimmer. And in that revised summary, Cadance would be the girlfriend that Flash let die, with the story implication that Flash, you know, they were traveling together on some place, and she got injured, and when she was away from the Empire without her memories, that's when Sombra took over. Can you tell that that's my really crummy chained up Cadance sprite with the gray around her hooves? Anyway, so now on the one hand, Sunset as a potential traitor that might be working for the Empire in secret is fine. That works great. You know, and Cadance, you know, dying and Flash trying to resurrect her to make amends, that works. And, you know, and it also gives Cadance and Twilight and Sunset, you know, Celes and Terra a bit more of a rivalry. Can do some interesting dialogue with them and maybe Celestia. Here's the problem. It completely knocks off the party balance. Because right now, you know, we have the 3 Alicorns. One of them's kind of Luna leans towards Earth Pony, Cadance leads towards Pegasi, and Celestia leads towards Unicorns. And then we have, I believe, 4 Unicorn party members, 3 Earth Ponies, and 3 Pegasi. What was it? No, 4 Pegasi. So we got a good even cast ratio there. And also, Cadance learns Ice sort of like, because it's sort of like Crystal, and Celestia learns Fire because Sun, and Twilight learns Bolt, mostly just because, but it does work for her, I think. Sunset obviously makes no sense for her to learn Ice. You know, why would she learn Ice? But it doesn't really make much sense for Celestia or Twilight to have Ice either. So okay, fine, we lose our Ice Elemental character, really. Or if we do, it doesn't fit the character that it gets to as well as it fits Cadance. And then on the other side of that, as I said, it completely screws off the cast ratio, because right now we have 4 Unicorns, 4 Pegasi, and 3 Earth Ponies, and 3 Alicorns that each lean to one of the 3. Well, now we've lost Cadance as a playable character. You know, so we have 2 Alicorns, one of which is Unicorn leaning, and then we have 5 Unicorns. That's a cast made up half of magically inclined characters. So that completely skews not only gameplay balance, but also like equipment draw, because now, you know, the Unicorns kind of dominate the cast, makes items for them much more desirable. And finally, there's the symbolism again. Sunset Shimmer, the Magicite that Locke uses to resurrect Rachel in the original game, is the Phoenix. Perfect. You know, that's perfect for Sunset Shimmer. Cadance, not so much. And Rydal Fox, he did try to edit the Phoenix graphic, the overlaid graphic of the Phoenix that appears on the screen when you revise Rachel/Sunset. But he had trouble doing it, he couldn't ultimately do it, and I said, don't worry about it, you know, like, it's Sunset Shimmer, the Phoenix imagery still suits her. You know, that's fine. It doesn't suit Cadance, though. So, the Switch was a mixed bag. It makes some sense, story-wise, but it also confuses some things, story-wise. And in gameplay, it's just a complete mess. So I decided to keep Sunset where she is, and Cadance can stay in the party. And speaking of Cadance, I forgot to equip her. Maybe I should do that so she doesn't die. Don't want the princess to die. That's better. Here, eat your apples! that was a like I think I touched on this in a previous video. That's also why I didn't switch Flash and Shining Armor. You know, it's a mixed bag of storytelling. Like, okay, you know, Shining Armor, he's not helping Sombra anymore, and it makes Flash, it's his place, you know, kind of as a general, kind of makes sense. But again, then you have to deal like, well, that's Shining Armor, you know, suggesting that his wife disguised herself as Queen Chrysalis as part of a plan for the opera, and Shining Armor wondering if his wife has betrayed them to Sombra. You know, like, that stuff is already, that part especially, the idea that is Cadence a spy subplot, really had to stretch it already to make it work for Flash. Does not work at all if Flash is for Shining Armor, that just no. And I think I don't know, the one solution someone suggested is, well, maybe in this continuity, since, you know, you're revising things, Shining Armor and Cadence aren't married. And I'm like, well, okay. But if they're not married, then does that really make Shining Armor a better fit? You know, if we're gonna toss out their relationship like that? People always miss that hidden chest, and I do too. I often forget that chest is there, but I remembered this time. Yeah, but the one thing I really did want to try to do for 2.0 is include Shining Armor as a playable character. And I did have him working to a limited extent. I hadn't tried on the actual event where you would resurrect him, you know, but I had, like, he appeared on an NPC on the airship, and if you talk to him with an empty slot in your party, he joins your party as a guest character, with his equipment unable to be changed. But I had him in battle, he was working, you know, he could level up, he could level up, he could fight. The problem is, though, that, again, and this is something I already ran into with Umaro, but to a much lesser degree, every time the game looks at the characters in your party, like the characters each have spell slots, like spell slot 1 through 14. And so you'd have to go through the game, and every time you'd have to allow the game to accommodate for a 15th character that could now be in your party for these circumstances, and I can't even imagine what that would entail, but it would be big. And then there's also the Colosseum. Apparently guests just plain don't work in the Colosseum, because you're not supposed to have guests in the Colosseum. You don't have guest characters by the point in the game. So it just would have been a lot of work that I was not prepared to do. That is what the hack boiled down to. Sometimes it's like, okay, it's technically possible, but do I really, you know, want to go through the trouble, and with all the troubleshooting and all the asking for help in that? And it's not me being lazy, it's just like, I feel like I can only bend the hack out of shape so many times before I can't bend it back into shape. Because I know, like, this, it's happened before where I make mistakes that I didn't even realize are mistakes. But, you know, I glitched something up that I didn't know was a glitch, and I played through the game and I didn't even notice that was a glitch. The one good example, I think, was the Whirlwind Quasar glitch, where using the ability Quasar in battle causes the Whirlwind to appear glitched. And because in the original game Whirlwind and Spiraler were so useless, no one ever really noticed it, or if they noticed it, they didn't care. But here, with Whirlwind being much more common and Quasar being made more accessible to some enemies, it was actually a problem. So yeah, Shining Armor, not playable. The 15th Man Project really has its own entire subforum on ff6hacking.com. These guys have been trying for years to get a fully realized, implemented 15th character in the game. And if they can't do it, I'm not going to be the one to crack the code now. You know, people far more intelligent than me, who know much more about this game than I do and have been hacking it for much longer and more in depth than I do, can't figure it out. I'm not gonna try. Excuse me. Come on. Also, once again, you've probably noticed that the enemy lineup has changed from the first visit to the cave. If you come back to the cave later in the game, I think it uses the second lineup again. If you really want them for emulates and the like. And here, I noticed the miscolored, like, blackness. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if that's an emulator thing or if I screwed something up, but yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's an emulator thing because I didn't change this cave system that much. I don't think at all, actually. Terrain edits I tried to limit because I didn't want to break anything. Okay. Before we move on, I want to meet the other enemies up here in this place just so I can get them as emulates if I want to. Come on. There we go. Oh, reminds me actually. Flash is going to be doing a lot of attacking for this part. So, we're going to replace that with the light shoe. And why did I not give her that before? I don't know. Yes, we want Flash a physical powerhouse. Fine, I'll kill him. Speed up. Board. Come on, where's the bears? Where's the bear? Where's the bear? Where's the bear? There's a bear enemy in this cave. I want to meet it just so I can say that I met it. Come on. Where is he? We're at the 53-minute mark right now. Where is my... There it is. Okay. Ice, ice, baby. Dun 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 dun. Do 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 do. Okay, let's do this. People have also joked, you know, Princess Cadence Miyamori Cadenza, now just Katie. Yeah. So another change in this hack is that Cadence doesn't need a sword equipped to use Runic. Get rid of that restriction because it's just arbitrary. Like, Runic is a limited usefulness already. Demanding that you be equipped with a certain kind of item. No. So I'm just gonna have Cadence Runic. Oh, got another Cloud Dagger. Cool. Cold Laser. And that completes the Elemental Laser trio. There's a Cold Laser, Heat Laser, and Volt Laser. Huh? I could have sworn Okay, I'm gonna have to take another look at that because I could have sworn, like... Or maybe it's like when she has any weapon equipped. Perhaps. But anyway, yeah, so... I gave, like, initially, like, in the original game, the Magitech enemies just had Tech Laser, which was blue graphic, and it dealt lightning damage. For this hack, there's Volt Laser, Heat Laser, and Cold Laser. And they form a trio of elemental lasers, because when you play as Magitech Armor, you have the 3 lasers, so where are the lasers for the Magitech enemies? So that's what I did, just to approximate the Bolt Beam, Fire Beam, and Ice Beam. You have Volt Laser, Heat Laser, and Cold Laser for various enemies. And it just, again, it ties into the whole thing I tried to do with making elemental affinities and attacks more common. This is the most boring fight ever, because really it is just, that simple. Cadence, runic, flash attack. One thing I did do is, in the cave, if one of the chests contains a Thunder Rod, which you can use to cast the defense-ignoring Bolt 2, which just fries this thing instantly, I took that out because that's just cheap. The boss isn't that difficult anyway in the first place. And the idea that you can just get such a powerful item this early in the game, and basically use it to one-shot something, no, that I don't like that. Okay, so we're going to save our game as Spike. I'm going to go double check that Cadence doesn't need a sword to runic now. And I'll see you next time for Philly Fantasy VI, where we take on Luna's Scenario. See you then.